Welcome back to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. My name is Dylan. Shout out to Greg Midlife Sports Cards. I've got a pickup that was straight up. He texted me the information for the card because he already has it. And I told him a long time ago, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a long time ago, 3 months ago or so, hey, if you see any of these Yankee Captains cards that you already have and it looks good, he points them out. And he pointed one out to me that blew my freaking socks off. And I'm going to share that tonight. He already has it. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight is more about where my collection is headed. Because the last video I shared, I've been trying to figure out where I want to go. Let me put Greg down. And I've been just soul searching, right? You get in, not that I don't have a million things to collect, right? I can collect any number of things that I collect already. My Bowman Chromes, my Topps Finest, all my Topps vintage cards, center, great eye appeal. You can go in a million different directions, right? But my goal this year in my 44th year of life, shout out to my wife who created this epic bobblehead of the 38 Gaudy set. I'm going to get into stuff like that. And I got some gifts that I got for my birthday that I'm going to share. And I'm going to share a little bit of where my main focus is going to be, where my money's going to be headed, and what direction my collection is gonna grow in, and things that I have picked up I'm gonna share along the way. So with that said, let's get right into it. My birthday is 44, and I got some gifts from Brent. Oh man, what is Brent's channel's name? Shoot. Well, I'll tag Brent. I forget his channel name. He's got a brand new channel, but we've been friends for quite a while. And he sent me an insane care package, a huge box. Kid you not. It was a big box. About a week before my birthday. Took like a month to get it for some reason. Got lost or something. And I'm like, well, that's a week away. I'm going to wait till my birthday and open it because I didn't think I was going to get any gifts. And then my wife and my mother-in-law got me most epic gifts ever. So Brent sent me some incredible stuff. And it got my brain spinning as well. So I'm going to share some of that. I wanted to thank you guys for my All-Star vote. I don't know if I even shared that yet. These two are on my desk next to my computer. Means so much to me. You guys voted me an All-Star for the second year in a row. What an honor. So stoked. So didn't want to forget that. And 4-Leaf Eric for putting that together and doing that. Just awesome. Another shout out before I get going too long is for John 3D80's kid. His cards are in my binder, my YouTube binder. I'm not going to pull it out right now. But I have this on my desk with a bunch of others that I got at the National. And this is the 4-time auto. But John 3D80's kid just did a VR and a giveaway to celebrate 2 years on YouTube. And, you know, I wanted to do it. And life happens. And, you know, when things are happening in life that aren't that pleasant, to say the least, it's hard to get on and talk about cards in a way that I want to talk about cards. Don't get me wrong, all I did was spend time with cards. But I didn't feel comfortable making a video during the time. I'm on the fence about making a video. But my wife is set up at a booth right now. I set her up, and so I'm okay with it now. But when the last week, just to be with my wife at any time she's here, that felt really important to me. Unless, you know, she popped over there and I can hang out with my cards. I just didn't feel comfortable getting on a video. So, John, celebrating 2 years on YouTube, he wanted to know why we were on here, why we got on YouTube to begin with. And my quick answer, I watched my full first video. My wife's best friend, I won't say her name, was at the house. And my wife had been telling me for months and months to get on YouTube, start a channel, and make some videos. Talk about something, just making sure we're recording. Talk about your cards, talk about your collection. You love it. You know, she sees it on the wall my whole life, like in our pantry, you know, I had a huge display, like, and, you know, built this the second we showed up here, started with a shelf and worked our way around the room on things. So 3 years ago now, almost 3 years ago, I made my first video. And I wasn't much, I was watching YouTube, commenting, but I actually think I was commenting under my Instagram name and not my baseball card name. And also, you know, before that, for years and years, I was listening to podcasts about baseball cards. So when I got on, if you watch my first video, my wife had a best friend over, and I was serving them cocktails. I was drinking the cocktails, and then I'm like, well, okay, it's time to depart from hanging out with the girls. Let them do their girl thing, you know, hung out with them. I'm great friends with her too, of course. It's my wife's best friend. So I make them drinks for the first couple hours, and we hang out, talk about life, and then I go, okay, well, I'm going to sign off. And then my wife's like, you should do a video. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. And I was in here earlier with my wife's best friend and my friend too, and I was telling her about Jackie Robinson. I was showing her my cards. And so my first video, I got on, I was in this little corner over there. I might add, I was at least 3 drinks in. Okay? And I'm a 2-drink guy. When I have 2 drinks, that's my max now. If I have 3, that means I'm just like going next level and partying all night. I just can't consume a lot of alcohol because it's just, I always think about the consequences. So like your sleep's not good. All that goes in my brain while I'm drinking, always. So I've always been like that, like nervous about being hungover. You know, younger, you bounce back. But my first video, I was drinking. But you know what it did? It's like anything. I mean, not everyone's life should be like this, but my life in general. I have made some of the best decisions of my life when I was drinking. You know, it's a very weird thing to say. Because, you know I don't have kids watching my channel. You know, maybe my nieces and nephews pop on now and then. But I've been on long enough where they're not watching every episode. It's like, let loose a little more. That's just me. And I've made some insane decisions while I was drinking. And, you know, it's like so many purchases of cards I've bought over the years and decades when I was drinking and getting on eBay. And my big ones were always those, right? And I've never regretted any of them. So, you know, obviously I've regretted decisions I made drinking. But the big ones, it's not like you just do it in that second. You come up with something. But a lot of the times, like that night. So I did a video. And what I said on that video was that everything I said was exactly how I still feel. Like everything I said is how I feel. I didn't get on YouTube to make friends. That wasn't a part of that. I got on YouTube because I had been listening to Mike, Golden Age of Cardboards, and Don was always on there, Field of Dreams, and George Diamond Yard. Like I hung out with those 2 guys this year, stayed with them at a house. Like it was like, it sounds silly, but it was like a dream come true for me. Not because they're famous or anything, but because they were like, they inspired me to get on here. Like those 2 and Mike talking about the greatest designs of all time. That was when I raised my hand and said, that's it. Broke my back, broke the whatever you call that, the straw in the camel's back. I was in, like, I need to put my words out there and my thoughts about collecting. So when I got on, that's what that video talked about. And it talked about the marriage of money and cards and what cards have taught me about money. Everything I ever learned about money, I kid you not, was through baseball cards. People think that, you know, knowing the prices of cards or what you pay or guessing what's going to go up or down, some people maybe look at that as the negative light. I said in that first video, it's a marriage thing. When I buy a card, I want both. I want it to be worth at least what I paid in the future. And a lot of the purchases, I think, past that even, where I want them, I think they're going to be worth more in the future. So it influences me to buy those cards even more than I already wanted. So there's certain cards where I'll spend a little more money. And I did that in the past. When I was, 20 years old, I came out of high school. I did not go to college. I knew I was going to work right away. I was working in high school full time. After school, I had surf team in the morning, school, after school, straight to a surfboard factory. And it was Dan Taylor Surfboards. And I ended up marrying Dan Taylor's niece. That's my wife. So I always was, man, I lost my train of thought. Maybe it's this, it gets your brain spinning. I was always thinking about money in the future. And how am I going to do this life? How am I going to do it differently than everybody else? Because I knew I wasn't going to go to college, and I didn't go to college. So, I was telling about my big purchases. So in the 2000s, I had a full-time job. I was killing it for, I wasn't making millions of bucks. But for me, going from $7 an hour job in high school, working at Dan Taylor's factory, learning how to do all the steps, glass boards, shape boards, clean up, answer phone calls, ordering, all that, to where I was learning how to run a CNC machine, eventually running the company, still working for them, doing all the, invoicing of everything, still work for them. Cards got me used to spending money and wanting things to be worth more. It got me okay with gambling, and it got me okay, gambling sounds bad, but when I talk about gambling, it's decisions of where you put your money. Everything you do is a gamble. Like, every dollar you spend is a gamble, right? Buying a house, it's a super huge gamble. You're married to that house. You're chained to it. And when the market crashes and you buy the house at the wrong time, you're down all that money. It's invisible money, or the down payment you put down, the house comes down. You have to learn to live with that. You also have to make sure you pay those mortgages every month. So that's another story, but I went through that as well. So cards to me is a marriage thing. When I buy a card, I want more than it just to hit my collection perfectly. But YouTube, when I got on, it was just for me to tell my thoughts and share my collection. And I've gone so far beyond that. Friends like Brent, friends like John, friends like Scott, Reindeer Studios, Legendary, been scooping up these insane cards. Brent's gifts. Brent sent me some insane gifts. Jim Abbott, Archives, autograph. I'm an Jim Abbott super fan. Autograph on the sickest Jim Abbott card. Insane stuff. Guys like Greg. I can name every single person in the community right now. Every single one. Haven't met a bad one yet. So just because I came on here wanting to share my collection, share my journey, and I still do that, and share my thoughts, like a diary of sorts of a collector, like we're all weird. I mean, I'm weird. I know that. So that's why I got on YouTube. And what YouTube has taught me is that I now have friends. That was a full bonus, guys. Like Brent sending me care packages and making things just so fulfilling in this hobby beyond just being by myself. And I was fulfilled. I love doing it by myself. I still do it by myself 99% of the time. The other 1%, I'm watching YouTube videos and all that. But I'm texting guys. And I have relationships with friends. And I wasn't expecting that. And I didn't come on here for that. So that's just a blessing. That's just the icing on the cake. I still get to share my thoughts and the way my collection's headed. And I can change my opinions, and I've been doing that so much over the last couple of years on YouTube. For me, changing your opinion on big things, little things, all things, just having that open mind to be able to change your opinion is a big deal for me. without going too deep on it. But changing your opinion about things is huge. And I'm very open to changing my opinion about things. And I do. So, and I will reverse course and I will, admit to myself, I don't need to tell people I'm wrong. I will change course. I will steer the boat in a different direction on huge, giant life decisions, life beliefs. And I will revert to wherever I feel is the right direction in things. I know I'm rambling, but this is how I've wanted my channel. This is how I have done my channel, So let me get into where my collection is headed. The last episode, I said I was looking at completing Hank Aaron runs. And the Hank Aaron run, and I just, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it more. And the second Greg sent me that, and then the second my wife made me this incredible gift, the Gaudi 38, everything changed. So, let me show you my giant focus of the rest of the year. I have two. The first one is going to be completing the 1938 Gaudi Heads Up set. I know I'm washed out here. I'm going to share some cards up close and personal in a minute. You guys have seen this card. The second, so I went on Dan's podcast or his show, his YouTube channel, and I'll link that below as well. And he talked about set building, and for whatever reason, my birthday was like a week later, and my wife made me this. And my buddy, Adam Vintage Sanctuary, after he picked up his Joe D, and then I picked up this Jimmy Fox at the National with him because he inspired me. I'm like, I love that set. I didn't even know I could afford that set. It never crossed my mind collecting by myself. And I saw my buddy get the Joe D, and I picked this up, and I picked up the Hank Greenberg. And then he told me, at some point on that trip, I could see myself collecting the whole set. And I think I said to him, I would never collect the whole set. That seems crazy. I'm not a guy who wants to get all those comments. But this set, I'm only going to collect the scribbles, and I'm going to collect every single one of them. There's 20-something cards. And I think it's the most exciting project I've ever done. I'm doing the MVP project. That's probably my second favorite project. I don't know. Every day is another favorite project, right? You zone it all over. That's why I love having all these different collections, so it can continue. But my main focus is going to be collecting the Gaudi Heads Up. And on my birthday, I woke up and I went on eBay. I went on all the auction houses. The PWCCs, the Clean Cheap Shots, the Force Off Corners, everywhere I could find, and I grabbed all of the Gaudi Heads Up commons that were graded that fit my eye. You know me, I want to be centered on these. I want the eye appeal to look like the rest of my cards. I want them all to look like this Jimmy Fox. I want them all to look relatively similar to this. Just like my Joe D looks like this. In any grade, I could care less what grade. It's all about the eye appeal, just having that look to it. Now, the Joe D of mine is yellow. It's a yellow card. And I'm okay with a little off-centered on the yellow borders on these because you can't even tell. You barely can tell. So with the commons. So what I did on my birthday, I had a whole bunch on my watch list already because I had that thought for a long time. Do I want to collect the whole set of these? I just figured I'd do the Bob Feller and get the big ones, which I'm very close. I just need the Bob Feller and a few others to make the big, the big boys. I'm going to do all of them. And on my birthday, I pulled all the ones that fit my eye. And they all happen to be graded by PSA. So I was secretly maybe I should just do PSA after I bought all those. But I'm not going to limit myself like that. If I see a good SGC one or something, but there were none that fit my eye in the price and all that. But in any other thing but PSA on my birthday. And on my birthday, I spent about $600 and I bought 6 commons. I mean, all the way from grades 2 to 4, I think. And they all look this exact same. Same style, same shape. So that project to me, that's my favorite project. Hands down, it's going to be my favorite project of the year. I'm going to spend the most time looking for those, the most money on those. Hoping to get the comments for anywhere from 75 to 200 at the most, if I have to buy like a 5 or something. I don't want to buy a 5. I want to buy 2s. But I think I did buy some 4s. So I got 6 of them for around 600. It might have been 700 total. So I can't wait to share those when they come in. Gigantic deal. I mean, this just sealed it. It sealed the deal. The next thing I'm going for is going for the Yankees captains. Another part of YouTube that I've learned is that you can completely steal other people's ideas for their collecting. And it's so cool because they're stoked because now they have a buddy to like share cards with or talk to about the set you're going for. Even if you're going for the same cards. At some point you have so many, like me, Adam, and Shane are going for the same 2022 Judge in all these different parallels. I have rules, Adam has rules, Shane has rules. So we all want certain ones the same, but then there's all these other ones that some of us want, some of us don't want. So we're all doing it in our own unique way, and at some point we all have the ones we want. And now it's like so fun because we'll be like, oh, we got this, and then somebody got a huge one the other day. It was like no one could even top it. I won't break the cat out of the bag, but no one could get a better one, which was awesome. And guys like this, like Greg now, I literally copied his collection. I did no research whatsoever. I watched his video about the T206 and the Yankees captains and how he's collecting them. And I thought his eye was beautiful. Like the ones he chose were absolutely phenomenal copies. Every one of them would fit in my collection. So I said, hey, Greg, you come across any of those that fit your eye, you already have it, send it my way, let me know. And then he's always sent me one. Sent me a listing. And he goes, this is a great deal. Or he said, this is a fair price. So there's a fair price because I didn't look up prices. I didn't look up comps. And then I saw the card, first. And I was like, holy smokes, that thing is beautiful. Let me get this thing sharp and focused. Now, I have read a little bit about Kid Elberfeld. This is not doing it justice. I'm telling you, it's not doing it justice with the lighting. But let's just say this copy is absolutely stunning. Everything about this example is out of this world. Beautiful. And it happens to be in a 4.5. Too high. Oh man, the lighting is terrible. It's just terrible. I'm going to share this again up close in one of my other style videos where I just share cards. This is more about the journey and the story. But I'm telling you, this card is an absolute stunner. And I'm going to collect all the Yankees captains in some way, shape, or form. And I'm going to use my buddy Greg, Midlife Sports Cards, to get me there and literally copy his collection. And I love it because he's looking for those cards and he'll see one. I'll have it, send it my way. I'm just sharing this Miller Huggins that I've had probably like 3 years. Not a Yankees captain, but he was the coach of Babe Ruth. So those are my only two 206 cards. And they both happen to be 4.5s. I have no idea why. I didn't type in 4.5s on anything. And I could care less what the grade is. And honestly, I want them lower the better. But I want them all to look like these two I want them all to look like this. This one's off-centered. I want them all to look like Kids. And I'll talk a little more about Kid when I have the information printed out in front of me. You guys know how I do it. So, Greg, Midlife, thank you for that. I'm really excited to hunt down these Yankee captains, and I already have a whole bunch of them. So I only need probably 6 cards, if that. And I'm not gonna, I'm a guy like on my birthday, if I'm gonna start a collection, I go so hard at it really fast. Like out of the gates, I want to have a big enough collection to force me to go down that road. So I bought every single example that fit my eye. Every example on eBay. Raw, graded in any form, that fit my eye and was the price that I wanted to pay. It wasn't ridiculous. That's how I do my collections. And then I hit the brakes. So I got 6 more of these coming. I already have a whole bunch of Yankees captains cards. Jeter and Judge and Jody. And so I don't need to like go crazy and buy all the T206 right now. But now I get to get some awesome T206 cards or T205 cards, or kind of go where I want to go with that. And I can use